Good vibes sleep. 100 relaxing dolphin facts for peaceful sleep. And welcome to Good Vibes Sleep. I'm really glad you're here. Tonight, we're diving into the peaceful blue world of dolphins. For the next few hours, we'll explore the lives of these remarkable ocean mammals, how they communicate, how they rest, how they raise their young, and how they've adapted so beautifully to life in the sea. You'll hear about the familiar bottlenose dolphin, known for its intelligence and curiosity, and the acrobatic spinner dolphin, famous for its twisting leaps through warm tropical air that will gently travel through coral reefs, open ocean waters, and quiet coastal bays, learning simple, relaxing facts along the way. You don't need to concentrate too hard. You don't need to remember names or details. You can simply listen. If you drift off halfway through, that's perfect. If you make it longer, that's fine too. This is your time to rest. So get comfortable, settle in, and let's begin our slow journey into the calm, blue world of dolphins, where the water moves gently, pods travel together, and everything unfolds at its own unhurried pace. Let's begin. Water Wave Part 1. Dolphin Families. Imagine a wide, warm ocean, stretching endlessly beneath a sky brushed with soft moonlight. The water is calm. The surface rises and falls in long, slow breaths, like the ocean itself is resting. And somewhere beneath that silver-blue surface, moving together in steady, unhurried harmony, is a group of dolphins. Fact 1. Dolphins live in social groups called pods. These pods are structured, meaningful communities shaped by memory, cooperation, and long familiarity. In species like the bottlenose dolphin, pods often include mothers, calves, siblings, and close companions who spend years, sometimes decades, together. They recognize one another not just by sight, but by sound. Each dolphin develops a unique, signature whistle, almost like a name, and pod members remember these whistles for many years. From the very beginning of life, a dolphin calf is surrounded by others. When it is born, it does not enter the ocean alone. Adults swim nearby. The mother rises with her newborn to the surface for its first breath. Other females often remain close, forming what researchers sometimes call a nursery group. For most dolphins, that sense of belonging continues throughout their lives. Fact 2. Some dolphin pods are small and close-knit, just a handful of individuals who have formed long-term bonds. These dolphins may travel the same coastline year after year, learning the patterns of tides, fish migrations, and seasonal currents together. In certain coastal regions, pods develop specialized hunting techniques unique to their group. For example, some dolphins work cooperatively to herd fish toward shallow shores, taking turns darting through the concentrated schools. Young dolphins watch carefully, learning not only how to hunt, but how to coordinate. Other dolphin communities are far larger. Offshore species such as the spinner dolphin sometimes gather in groups of hundreds, occasionally even thousands, forming vast, flowing assemblies that shift and reshape like a living constellation beneath the water. In these larger gatherings, smaller subgroups often remain within the whole, friends and relatives staying near one another even inside the larger movement. Fact 3. Within dolphin pods, friendships form that can last many years, sometimes a lifetime. Researchers observing long-term populations have noticed that certain dolphins consistently choose one another as close companions. They swim side by side. They surface together. They rest in proximity. When separated, they often reunite quickly, using their signature whistles to call out across the water. These bonds are not purely practical. While cooperation helps with hunting and protection, many of these pairings appear to be based on preference. Dolphins engage in synchronized swimming, gentle physical contact, and playful interactions with particular partners more than with others. Young males, in particular, sometimes form stable alliances that last for decades, involving coordinated movement and close communication, a steady companionship built over time. Friendship, it seems, is not exclusive to human experience. Fact 4. Dolphins communicate through touch. Their skin is remarkably sensitive, especially along the snout, jaw, and flippers. Nerve endings lie close to the surface, allowing them to detect subtle changes in pressure and movement in the water and in one another. A gentle brush of a pectoral fin along a companion's side is not accidental. Dolphins frequently make deliberate, slow contact when swimming together. They rub flippers. They glide flank to flank. Mothers guide calves with light nudges. Companions reaffirm bonds with brief, reassuring touches. Connection in the ocean is often quiet and wordless, but deeply understood. Fact 5. In some dolphin societies, particularly among resident populations of species like the bottlenose dolphin, older females play a central role in guiding the group. A matriarch may carry decades of knowledge, remembering productive feeding grounds, seasonal fish patterns, sheltered bays that offer protection during rough weather. Studies of long-observed dolphin communities show that groups with experienced older females often navigate environmental changes more successfully. Her leadership is subtle. She moves and others follow. She shifts direction slightly, and the pod adjusts. Fact 6. When dolphins hunt, cooperation often replaces competition. Pods may work together to herd fish into tight formations, circling in coordinated arcs. Some groups create what researchers call bait balls, compressing schools of fish into dense clusters so each dolphin can take turns feeding efficiently. In certain coastal regions, dolphins have even been observed collaborating with local fishers, driving fish toward nets and feeding alongside the catch. Both species benefit from the shared effort. Within the pod, turns are taken. Movements are synchronized. Quick bursts of speed alternate with pauses, allowing others their chance. The success of one supports the success of all. In the open ocean, survival often depends not on individual strength, but on shared timing and trust. Fact 7. If a dolphin becomes sick or injured, others frequently remain nearby. Observers have documented pods slowing their pace to match a weakened individual. Companions may swim beneath the struggling dolphin, helping lift it toward the surface so it can breathe. Gentle nudges keep it from drifting away. This support can continue for extended periods, sometimes for hours, sometimes longer, even when it slows the entire group. Such behavior suggests strong social awareness. Dolphins appear to recognize distress and respond with sustained attention. Care in the ocean is not abstract. It is active. It is physical. It is carried out through steady presence. No one moves entirely unnoticed within a pod. Fact 8. Baby dolphins are born tail first, an adaptation that protects them from inhaling water during birth. Until the final moment, the calf remains connected and supported by its mother's body. As soon as it emerges, the mother quickly guides the newborn upward to the surface for its very first breath. Other females in the pod often circle nearby, creating a calm, protective space. Within minutes, the calf begins to swim, staying close to its mother's side, often drafting just behind her to conserve energy. This position allows the calf to move efficiently while remaining safe. From its first moments, the calf is not only alive, it is surrounded. Fact 9. A dolphin mother nurses her calf with rich milk for up to 2 years, sometimes longer. During this time, the calf remains almost constantly near her, learning through observation and imitation. It watches how she hunts, how she communicates, how she responds to other dolphins. It begins experimenting with small whistles of its own, gradually refining a unique signature sound. The young dolphin absorbs knowledge not through formal instruction, but through proximity. Growth happens side by side. And slowly, season by season, the calf becomes confident in the currents, carrying forward the rhythms of the pod that raised it. Fact 10. Young dolphins grow up surrounded by teachers. Beyond their mothers, calves are often accompanied by aunties, other adult females who swim nearby, offer protection, and sometimes even babysit while a mother feeds. Older siblings remain close. Experienced pod members tolerate clumsy play and guide young dolphins away from danger with subtle body positioning and gentle redirection. In many observed pods of the bottlenose dolphin, calves spend their early years in what researchers describe as nursery groups, where multiple mothers and young travel together. This structure allows the young to learn social cues, communication patterns, and cooperative behavior from more than one adult role model. They learn how to time their breaths, how to coordinate during play, how to read posture and sound. In dolphin society, raising a calf is rarely a solitary task. The pod becomes a classroom without walls, a family without rigid boundaries, a shared space where knowledge moves naturally from one generation to the next. Fact 11. Dolphins have been observed staying close to deceased pod members, sometimes for hours or even days. Marine biologists across multiple species, including short-beaked common dolphin, have documented individuals lingering near a lost companion. They may circle the body, support it at the surface, remain unusually quiet and slow in their movements. Mothers have been seen carrying deceased calves, gently lifting them toward the surface as if still encouraging them to breathe. We cannot fully know what a dolphin experiences internally in those moments, but the behavior itself is striking. Fact 12. Some dolphin pods possess distinct cultural traditions, learned behaviors passed down through generations, not through instinct alone, but through observation and teaching. In certain coastal regions, dolphins use marine sponges as protective tools, placing them over their snouts while foraging along the seafloor. This specialized technique is not universal among dolphins in the same area. It spreads through family lines, particularly from mother to calf. Other pods develop unique hunting strategies, vocal patterns, or travel routes that differ subtly from neighboring groups. These variations exist because dolphins learn from one another. A new behavior begins with one individual, is observed by others, practiced, refined, and eventually woven into the identity of the pod. Fact 13. In certain parts of the world, dolphins have formed cooperative relationships with human fishermen that have lasted for generations. Along coastal communities in places like Laguna, wild dolphins help herd schools of fish toward waiting nets. At a precise moment, specific dolphins give a clear signal, often a distinctive dive or tail movement, indicating the optimal time for fishermen to cast their nets. The result benefits both. The fishermen secure a stronger catch. The dolphins feed on fish that escape or become disoriented. This collaboration is not trained in captivity. It is voluntary and passed down socially. Human children grow up learning to watch for dolphin signals. Dolphin calves grow up observing their mothers approach the shoreline and interact calmly with boats. It is a rare and steady example of interspecies cooperation, built not on control, but on mutual timing and trust. A working relationship shaped by repetition, memory, and respect. Fact 14. Bottlenose dolphins can live for more than 50 years in the wild, with some individuals documented reaching their 60s. Over that lifetime, a dolphin experiences decades of shifting currents, changing pod dynamics, and accumulated knowledge of its environment. It remembers productive feeding areas, recognizes long-standing companions, adapts to seasonal patterns with practiced ease. A 50-year life in the ocean means 50 years of migration routes traced again and again. 50 years of raising calves, forming alliances, adjusting to storms, and navigating the subtle geography of reefs and open water. Long-lived dolphins often become repositories of social memory within their pods. Fact 15. Dolphins sometimes adopt orphan calves, young dolphins who have lost their mothers and would struggle to survive on their own. In documented cases among species such as the bottlenose dolphin, unrelated females have been observed allowing orphan calves to remain close, even nursing them alongside their own young. This is no small commitment. Nursing requires energy. Protection requires vigilance. Guidance requires time. Yet adoption happens. An experienced female may slow her pace to accommodate the smaller swimmer. She may position herself between the calf and potential danger. She may respond to its distress calls just as she would to her own offspring. For a young dolphin, survival depends on learning how to hunt, how to communicate, how to navigate social life. Adoption offers that chance. Fact 16. When dolphins reunite after a separation, they often exchange signature whistles, individually distinctive sounds that function much like names. Each dolphin develops its own signature whistle early in life, refining it over time. Others learn to recognize and even imitate these whistles to call specific individuals. When companions come back together after hours or days apart, researchers frequently record an increase in these personalized calls. It is as if they are saying, I am here. Yes, it's you. We've found each other again. Reunions are often accompanied by visible excitement, quickened swimming, tight circling, gentle body contact. Dolphins may brush against one another or swim in synchronized arcs, matching speed and direction with remarkable precision. The space that once separated them narrows, then disappears. Across land and sea, reunion carries a familiar energy, the quiet relief of closeness restored. Fact 17. Dolphin pods do not always remain isolated from one another. In many regions, neighboring pods occasionally merge, forming larger temporary communities. These gatherings may last hours, days, or even weeks. During this time, dolphins socialize, forage, and travel together. Younger individuals meet new playmates. Adults reinforce alliances or establish new connections. Long-term studies of coastal populations show that certain pods encounter each other repeatedly across years, creating extended social networks rather than rigid, closed groups. The ocean has no fences. Its communities are fluid, expanding and contracting with the rhythms of food availability, migration, and social bonds. Pods may separate again, each returning to familiar waters. But the memory of connection remains, ready to be renewed when paths cross once more. Fact 18. Young male dolphins often form tight alliances with one or two other males, partnerships built on cooperation and long-term loyalty. Among bottlenose dolphins especially, these alliances can last for decades. The males coordinate movements, support one another in conflicts, and remain in close association through changing seasons and shifting group dynamics. Researchers have described these bonds as some of the most stable and intricate cooperative relationships observed outside of humans. Trust develops gradually, reinforced through repeated cooperation and shared challenges. In a vast and sometimes unpredictable environment, having one or two steadfast companions can make all the difference. Enduring partnership, it seems, is not bound to land. It moves gracefully through the sea as well. Fact 19. Dolphins are known for their playfulness, and sometimes that play unfolds alongside creatures far larger than themselves. They have been observed riding the pressure waves created by large whales, including species like the humpback whale. As a whale moves through the water, it generates powerful currents and rolling wakes. Dolphins position themselves carefully within these waves, gliding effortlessly forward. There is no obvious hunting advantage. No immediate survival need. They simply ride. They leap through the swell, arc back down, and repeat the motion again. Play serves many purposes, strengthening muscles, sharpening reflexes, reinforcing bonds. But it also appears to exist for its own sake. Joy in the ocean can be practical. And sometimes, it can just be joy. Fact 20. At night, dolphin pods often rest together near the surface. Dolphins practice what is known as unihemispheric sleep, allowing one half of the brain to rest while the other remains alert enough to control breathing and maintain awareness. This adaptation lets them continue surfacing regularly for air while staying loosely connected to the group. As darkness settles, pods may slow their movement, floating or gliding gently in a relaxed formation. Their breathing becomes steady and rhythmic. The water around them grows quieter. They remain close enough to sense one another through sound and subtle movement. Above them, the night sky stretches wide. Below them, the ocean holds its calm. Even in rest, they are not alone. They drift together, suspended between sea and stars, breathing in slow, patient intervals until morning light returns. Speaker High Volume Part 2, The Language of Sound. The ocean is never truly silent. Even in the deepest dark, even in the stillest water, sound travels. Vibration moves. Low rumbles from distant storms. The clicks of small creatures. The songs of whales across vast distances. In the underwater world, sound carries farther and more reliably than light. For dolphins, this invisible music is not background noise. It is the structure of their reality. It is how they locate food, recognize companions, navigate coastlines, and maintain social bonds. Their lives unfold inside a living soundscape. Fact 21. Every dolphin develops its own unique signature whistle within the first few months of life. This whistle functions much like a name, a personal acoustic identity that remains stable over time. Researchers studying species such as the bottlenose dolphin have found that these signature whistles are not random sounds. They follow specific patterns, repeated consistently, allowing other dolphins to recognize and respond to a particular individual. From an early age, a calf experiments with sounds. Over time, its signature whistle becomes more defined, shaped by learning and social interaction. Other dolphins learn to associate that sound with that specific individual, even when visibility is low. In a vast ocean, where individuals may drift apart, the signature whistle ensures continuity. Fact 22. Dolphins can remember the signature whistles of companions they have not encountered for decades. Long-term studies have shown that adult dolphins respond to recordings of the whistles of former associates, even after more than 20 years of separation. The recognition is not fleeting. It is measurable and consistent. This suggests a remarkable social memory. Across changing seasons, migrations, and shifting pod structures, the acoustic memory remains intact. A whistle heard once can be stored and retrieved years later. In the ocean, relationships may stretch across time in ways that mirror the physical distance sound can travel. Connection, once established, does not simply fade into silence. Somewhere in the layered acoustics of the sea, familiar voices persist, waiting to be heard again. Fact 23. When a dolphin gives birth, the mother produces frequent vocalizations, including repeated signature whistles, directed toward her newborn calf. This early communication serves several purposes. It helps the calf learn to associate her specific sound with safety and nourishment. It reinforces social bonding. It creates a clear auditory link between mother and offspring. In species like the spinner dolphin, calves remain especially close to their mothers during early development, learning to recognize and respond to her voice within the complex underwater soundscape. The calf begins forming its own vocal patterns as it grows, but the mother's sound is foundational. Through repetition, the calf learns to identify her signature whistle, building the earliest layer of its social memory. The first consistent voice in a dolphin's life is often its mother's. Fact 24. Dolphins produce sounds using specialized air passages within their nasal system, located behind the blowhole. Unlike humans who rely on vocal cords in the larynx, dolphins generate clicks and whistles by moving air through structures called phonic lips. This unique anatomy allows them to vocalize while breathing at the surface, and even while swimming. Because their sound production system is separate from their respiratory system, they can continue communicating without interrupting their breathing rhythm. This design supports constant interaction. Fact 25. Echolocation is one of the most sophisticated sensory systems known in the animal kingdom. Dolphins emit rapid, high-frequency clicks that travel through the water. When these sound waves strike objects, fish, rocks, seafloor contours, they reflect back as echoes. The returning signals carry detailed information about size, shape, distance, density, and even internal structure. The dolphin's brain processes these echoes in real time, constructing an immediate three-dimensional understanding of its surroundings. This ability allows dolphins to hunt in darkness, navigate murky water, and detect prey hidden beneath sand. In environments where light is limited or absent, sound becomes the primary tool for perception. Through echolocation, dolphins effectively see with sound. Fact 26. The organ responsible for shaping echolocation clicks is called the melon, a rounded, fatty structure located in the dolphin's forehead. The melon functions as an acoustic focusing device. It helps direct and refine sound waves, allowing the dolphin to control the direction and precision of its clicks. By adjusting its shape slightly, the dolphin can influence how sound travels outward into the water. This adaptation enhances targeting accuracy and spatial awareness. Evolution has refined this structure over millions of years, resulting in a highly specialized biological system for sound projection. In dolphins, the forehead is not just a surface feature, it is part of a finely tuned sensory instrument. Given enough time, natural selection can produce mechanisms of extraordinary complexity. And in the case of dolphins, it has created a world where sound is not only heard, but experienced as space itself. Fact 27. Dolphins can determine the size, shape, density, distance, and even internal composition of objects using echolocation alone. When a dolphin sends out a series of clicks, the returning echoes contain layered information. The timing of the echo reveals distance. The subtle differences in sound reflection reveal texture and structure. The strength of the return signal helps indicate density. Experiments have shown that dolphins can distinguish between objects that are identical in size and appearance to human observers, such as a steel sphere and a rubber sphere, even when placed underwater at a distance. The difference in material changes how sound waves reflect, and dolphins detect that variation with precision. They can also locate fish buried beneath sand by sensing the faint acoustic contrast between the moving prey and the surrounding sediment. Their perception operates in dimensions we do not directly experience. Where humans rely primarily on light, dolphins rely on sound. Fact 28. Dolphin whistles vary depending on social and environmental context. Researchers studying species like the bottlenose dolphin have identified different call patterns associated with specific situations, such as group cohesion, mother-calf interaction, excitement during play, coordination during travel, or responses to potential threats. While dolphins do not have emotional vocabulary in the human sense, changes in frequency, duration, repetition rate, and structure suggest meaningful variation tied to internal and external states. For example, rapid burst pulse sounds are often associated with heightened arousal, whether during social play or conflict. Softer, more stable whistles may function in maintaining contact within the pod. These patterns indicate a sophisticated communication system that adapts dynamically to circumstance. Fact 29. Dolphins are capable of vocal imitation, including mimicking the sounds of other dolphins and, in some cases, artificial sounds or human-made tones. This ability demonstrates advanced auditory learning and social flexibility. Imitation requires attentive listening. It requires memory of sound patterns. It requires precise motor control to reproduce what has been heard. When a dolphin echoes a sound, it is engaging in active auditory modeling. To imitate is to process. To replicate is to recognize. This skill suggests a high degree of cognitive sophistication, one that supports complex social interaction and adaptability in changing environments. Fact 30. Sound travels roughly 4 times faster in water than in air. Because of this physical property, dolphins can communicate over far greater distances than land mammals using vocal signals alone. A whistle transmitted through open water can reach companions hundreds of meters away, sometimes farther, depending on conditions. Water's density allows sound waves to move efficiently, with less energy loss compared to air. For dolphins, this means communication is not limited by visual range. Even when companions are out of sight, beyond waves, around bends, beneath surface glare, sound maintains contact. Distance in the ocean does not automatically equal isolation. Acoustic signals create continuity. Connection moves through the water as naturally as currents themselves. Fact 31. Dolphins living in different regions develop distinct vocal variations, sometimes referred to as dialects. Within long-term pods, subtle differences in whistle structure, rhythm, or frequency patterns can become consistent across generations. Young dolphins learn these vocal nuances by listening to adults within their group. These dialects help reinforce group identity. They can signal membership and support social cohesion. Because dolphins are highly social and learn through observation, vocal traditions persist over time, passed from mother to calf and shared among pod members. Language in dolphins is not static. It adapts. It reflects environment, social structure, and shared history. Culture lives inside sound. And tonight, across the vast underwater world, countless whistles and clicks weave together, forming networks of communication that stretch across communities, generations, and currents. Fact 32. Dolphins can precisely adjust the frequency, rhythm, and structure of their echolocation clicks depending on what they are examining. When scanning open water for distant objects, their clicks may be spaced farther apart, allowing time to interpret returning echoes. When focusing on something close, such as inspecting an unfamiliar object or tracking nearby prey, the click rate increases dramatically. This rapid sequence, sometimes called a terminal buzz, helps them gather highly detailed information in the final moments before contact. They modify their acoustic output in real time. Their sensory system is not fixed, it is flexible. The dolphin continuously adapts its perception to match the task at hand, shifting strategies seamlessly as conditions change. Tension, in their world, is dynamic. Perhaps there is something instructive in that adaptability, the ability to listen differently depending on what the moment requires. Fact 33. Mother dolphins often modify their signature whistles when communicating with calves. Studies of species such as the bottlenose dolphin suggest that mothers use higher-pitched, simplified, or more repetitive versions of their calls when interacting with young offspring, a form of vocal adjustment similar to what humans call motherese. These altered vocal patterns may be easier for calves to recognize and learn from, helping strengthen early bonding and communication. The tone shifts gently. The structure becomes clearer. Through sound alone, a mother can shape an acoustic environment tailored specifically to her calves' developing ears. Fact 34. Dolphins use burst pulse sounds, extremely rapid sequences of clicks that merge into buzzing or squawking tones, in highly social contexts. These sounds are often observed during play, close interaction, or moments of heightened emotional intensity. They can occur during courtship behaviors, competitive displays, or energetic group activity. Unlike the more tonal signature whistles, burst pulse sounds are complex and fast-changing. They can carry nuanced information about social dynamics, excitement levels, or group coordination. Even in their most energetic vocalizations, dolphins remain oriented toward interaction. Fact 35. Evidence suggests that dolphins use signature whistles to address specific individuals, effectively calling each other by name. When a dolphin approaches another, it may produce the distinctive whistle associated with that individual. Experiments have shown that dolphins respond more strongly to recordings of their own signature whistle than to others, indicating recognition. This behavior resembles naming. A dolphin may call out across the water using a sound uniquely linked to a particular companion, reinforcing social bonds and facilitating reunions. Fact 36. Dolphins can hear across a remarkably broad frequency range, extending far beyond the upper limits of human hearing. While humans perceive sounds roughly between 20 Hz and 20,000 Hz, dolphins detect much higher frequencies, enabling them to process the rapid clicks used in echolocation. This expanded range allows them to gather detailed environmental information that remains entirely inaccessible to us. To a dolphin, the underwater environment is filled with layers of acoustic data, reflections, echoes, calls, and subtle vibrations. Fact 37. During periods of rest, dolphin vocal activity typically decreases. At night or during calm phases, pods often reduce calling and active echolocation. While dolphins must continue surfacing to breathe, their communication tends to become less frequent and movement slows. Some individuals engage in synchronized resting behavior, drifting near the surface in close proximity to companions. This quieter state does not imply vulnerability. It reflects adaptation. Because dolphins rely on social structure and sensory awareness, rest occurs in coordinated patterns within the pod. Even in reduced vocal activity, connection remains present, maintained through proximity and shared rhythm. The night becomes a shared pause. Fact 38. Young dolphins spend significant time practicing their signature whistles during early development. Over months, calves experiment with variations in pitch, duration, and structure. Through repetition and social feedback, their signature whistle gradually stabilizes into a consistent form. This vocal refinement is an important milestone in development. The sound becomes more than noise, it becomes identity. In species such as the spinner dolphin, this process of vocal learning plays a key role in social integration, ensuring each individual can participate fully in pod communication. Fact 39. In controlled environments such as marine facilities, dolphins have demonstrated the ability to synchronize their vocalizations with rhythmic patterns, including music played nearby. Researchers have observed dolphins adjusting timing and sound production in ways that align with external beats, suggesting advanced auditory perception and motor coordination. These behaviors highlight their capacity for complex sound processing and flexible response. Rhythm appears to engage them. Pattern invites participation. Their interaction with sound is not limited to communication alone. It can extend into exploratory and playful contexts. Fact 40. At any given moment in the global ocean, countless dolphins are exchanging signals across vast distances. One individual emits a whistle into the water. The sound travels outward. It reflects, disperses, and eventually reaches another dolphin, who responds in turn. Through this continuous exchange, social bonds remain active even when individuals are separated by space. The sea becomes a network of acoustic pathways. Even in darkness, even across wide expanses, communication persists. Part 3. The joy of play. Joy is not a luxury for dolphins. It is woven into their biology, their development, and their social systems. Play is not separate from survival. It strengthens muscles, refines coordination, builds alliances, and reinforces trust. Through playful movement, young dolphins practice the skills they will rely on later in hunting, navigation, and social interaction. Play reduces tension within groups. It strengthens bonds. It allows individuals to test limits safely, to learn boundaries, and to develop confidence. For dolphins, movement and delight are deeply connected. Let us spend time here, in this vibrant corner of the ocean, where play is part of everyday life. Fact 41. Breaching, the act of leaping fully out of the water, is one of the most energy-intensive behaviors dolphins perform. To launch their entire body into the air requires powerful tail strokes and precise timing. The dolphin must accelerate beneath the surface, build momentum, and break through the water's resistance. Yet despite the high energetic cost, breaching is common across many species, including the bottlenose dolphin. Breaches may serve multiple purposes, signaling, dislodging parasites, or communicating across distances, but many appear spontaneous, occurring in calm conditions without immediate external triggers. The dolphin rises. The body arcs above the sea. For a brief moment, gravity replaces buoyancy. Then the dolphin re-enters the water, often producing a loud splash that can travel as a sound signal through the ocean. Whether functional or expressive, breaching demonstrates extraordinary strength and often repeated enthusiasm. It is movement taken to its fullest expression. Fact 42. Spinner dolphins, including the spinner dolphin, are famous for their rotational leaps. During these aerial displays, they spin rapidly along their body axis, sometimes completing multiple full rotations before returning to the water. These spins can occur singly or in sequences, particularly in social groups. Scientists have proposed several possible explanations: communication, coordination within pods, removal of parasites, or spatial awareness during group travel. However, many observations show spinning occurring in relaxed, playful contexts. The leading interpretation remains that this behavior is strongly linked to play and social interaction. Fact 43. Dolphins frequently ride the bow waves created by boats and ships. By positioning themselves at the front of a moving vessel, they can glide along the pressure wave without expending significant energy. This behavior, known as wave riding, allows them to travel at high speeds with minimal effort. Wave interaction is not limited to human vessels. Dolphins also ride natural waves and currents in the open ocean. This activity often appears playful. Dolphins may leap in and out of the wave, adjust position, or travel alongside one another within the pressure zone. In species like the short-beaked common dolphin, wave riding is especially common and can involve large groups traveling together. Every passing disturbance in the water can become an opportunity for movement. Energy in the environment becomes part of their play. Fact 44. Dolphins engage in object play, interacting with items in their environment in ways that do not serve immediate survival purposes. They may carry pieces of seaweed, toss them to another dolphin, or pass them back and forth repeatedly. Some individuals have been observed playing with shells, small fish, without consuming them, or floating debris. These interactions often occur among juveniles but are not limited to young dolphins. Object play strengthens motor skills and social bonds. It allows individuals to practice coordination, timing, and responsiveness within a low-risk context. Importantly, these games typically lack a fixed outcome. There is no final score. The activity continues for as long as participants remain engaged. In dolphin society, engagement itself is the reward. Fact 45. One of the most visually striking behaviors documented in dolphins is bubble ring creation. A dolphin releases air in a controlled manner underwater, shaping it into a toroidal ring, a circular vortex that rises slowly toward the surface. This requires fine motor control and an understanding of water dynamics. Once formed, dolphins often interact with the ring, nudging it gently, swimming through its center, or producing additional bubbles to merge with it. This behavior has been observed particularly in species such as the bottlenose dolphin, especially in playful or socially enriched environments. Bubble rings do not serve a clear survival function. They are not food. They are not shelter. They are creations, ephemeral structures of air and water, made and manipulated for interaction. In these moments, dolphins demonstrate curiosity, experimentation, and creativity. Art in this sense does not require hands. It requires imagination and control of one's environment. And beneath the sea, imagination moves in circles of silver light. Fact 46. Young dolphins engage in play behaviors that closely resemble those seen in human children, chasing one another, taking turns in pursuit, engaging in gentle wrestling, and testing social boundaries through controlled physical interaction. These interactions are carefully regulated. Although they may look energetic, dolphins typically use specific body postures and signals to indicate playful intent. This helps prevent misunderstandings and keeps the activity from escalating into real aggression. Play among juveniles strengthens coordination, improves agility, and builds social awareness. Through mock chases, they learn timing. Through wrestling, they learn strength control. Through repeated interactions, they learn how to read another dolphin's movements. In species such as the bottlenose dolphin, extended juvenile play is especially common and can continue well beyond early childhood. Play functions as training, but it is also joy. It prepares the body and mind for adulthood while strengthening friendships that may last for years. Rehearsal and delight happen at the same time. Fact 47. Dolphins frequently surf natural ocean swells, particularly near coastlines where wave energy concentrates. By positioning themselves within moving water currents, dolphins can glide long distances with minimal effort. They may ride a swell toward shore, turn gracefully, and re-enter another wave to continue the motion. This behavior is observed in several species, including the spinner dolphin, which is often seen interacting playfully with wave patterns in tropical and subtropical waters. Wave surfing can occur individually or in groups, with dolphins coordinating their positions to share the same swell. Fact 48. Dolphins of different ages frequently engage in intergenerational play. Older individuals may interact with juveniles in ways that are gentle and adaptable. They may slow their speed, adjust their strength, or initiate simpler games to match the developmental level of younger dolphins. This cross-age interaction strengthens social cohesion. It allows knowledge transfer in informal settings. Younger dolphins observe movement styles, timing, and social cues from more experienced members. In pods of the bottlenose dolphin, such mixed-age play is common and contributes to long-term stability within the group. Age differences dissolve in water. The buoyancy of the environment reduces physical constraints, making interactions more fluid. An older dolphin and a younger one can share the same game, each benefiting differently, yet participating equally. Play becomes a bridge across generations. Fact 49. Wild dolphins have occasionally been observed initiating playful interactions with human divers. These encounters typically begin with cautious approaches, dolphins circling, observing body language, and assessing behavior. If comfort levels are met, dolphins may engage in behaviors resembling games such as object exchange, synchronized swimming, or playful following patterns. Such interactions are voluntary and unpredictable. They reflect curiosity and social flexibility rather than dependency. Dolphins that approach divers often display relaxed body posture, smooth movements, no signs of tension, and repeated returns after brief separations. When a dolphin chooses to interact, it is making an independent decision within its environment. These moments are rare and situational, shaped by context and individual temperament. They remind us that dolphins are not merely observers of their world. They are participants, capable of engaging across species boundaries when conditions allow. Fact 50. Studies of dolphin populations show that play behavior increases during periods of environmental stability, when food resources are abundant and predation risk is low. In these conditions, dolphins devote more time to social interaction, object play, wave riding, and cooperative games. Play appears to be a flexible behavior influenced by ecological context. When survival pressures decrease, social and exploratory activities increase. This pattern has been documented in multiple dolphin communities, including long-term observations of species such as the short-beaked common dolphin. In other words, well-being creates space for play. When basic needs are met, dolphins invest time in interaction that strengthens bonds and cognitive skills. Water Wave Part 4. Bodies Made for Flow. Fact 51. The streamlined shape of a dolphin dramatically reduces drag, the resistance created when moving through water, through smooth, tapered contours that minimize turbulence. The absence of external hind limbs, combined with tightly controlled muscle structure and flexible spinal movement, allows dolphins to move efficiently at high speeds. Comparative studies between natural dolphin motion and early human-engineered underwater designs have shown that dolphins often exceed predicted mechanical efficiency, demonstrating how biological systems refined over millions of years can surpass human optimization. In species such as the bottlenose dolphin, the body reflects a form precisely tuned for aquatic life, where function and elegance align through evolutionary time. Fact 52. Dolphin skin is uniquely adapted for constant renewal, with the outermost layer shedding rapidly to maintain an exceptionally smooth surface that reduces drag and limits the accumulation of organisms like algae or barnacles. This living exterior continuously refreshes itself, contributing directly to hydrodynamic efficiency by minimizing resistance in moving water. In species such as the spinner dolphin, this smoothness supports fast, agile swimming and precise coordination during group movement. The dolphin body is not static but exists in subtle, ongoing regeneration, continuity maintained through change. Fact 53. Dolphins swim using powerful tail flukes that move in an up and down motion rather than side to side, distinguishing them from most fish and reflecting their evolutionary history as mammals whose ancestors once walked on land. Over millions of years, forelimbs transformed into flippers while external hind limbs disappeared, though underlying skeletal and muscular structures still reveal this terrestrial heritage. The vertical propulsion of the tail aligns biomechanically with mammalian spinal movement patterns, preserving ancestral motion within a fully aquatic form. Fact 54. Every breath a dolphin takes requires conscious control, unlike humans whose breathing is largely automatic. Dolphins must actively decide when to inhale to avoid taking in water, and even during rest they maintain partial awareness through unihemispheric sleep, in which one half of the brain remains alert while the other rests. This adaptation allows regular surfacing for air while supporting complex social behavior. In species such as the short-beaked common dolphin, breathing becomes an intentional rhythm, each surfacing a deliberate act essential for life in the ocean. Fact 55. There are approximately 40 recognized species of dolphins worldwide, ranging widely in size, habitat, and behavior, from the orca, the largest member of the dolphin family, to Hector's dolphin, among the smallest and found in New Zealand's coastal waters. Despite this diversity, common traits persist across species, including advanced social intelligence, complex communication, cooperative behavior, and strong mother-calf bonds. Different environments have shaped different forms, yet shared characteristics echo across oceans and rivers alike, defining the dolphin family not only by anatomy but by relationship. Fact 56. Some river dolphin species display pink coloration, most notably the Amazon river dolphin, or boto, whose hue varies with age, activity level, water temperature, and social context. Increased blood flow near the skin during exertion or excitement can intensify the pink coloration, while younger individuals are often paler. Environmental factors also influence appearance, as sediment-rich waters and light conditions affect how color is perceived. Even within a single species, coloration remains fluid, responsive, adaptive, and dynamic. Fact 57. Dolphins possess a thick layer of blubber beneath their skin that serves multiple functions, including insulation in cold waters, energy storage during periods of scarce prey, buoyancy control, and enhancement of the streamlined body profile that reduces drag. This layer supports the high metabolic demands of dolphins while contributing to endurance and agility. In species such as the bottlenose dolphin, blubber integrates thermal regulation, energy management, and hydrodynamics into a single adaptive system where softness is functional rather than incidental. Fact 58. Dolphins retain vestigial skeletal structures, remnants of hind limb bones inherited from terrestrial ancestors that gradually adapted to aquatic environments over millions of years. While these internal pelvic remnants no longer serve a locomotor function, they remain as anatomical evidence of evolutionary transition. In species such as the short-beaked common dolphin, these subtle structures quietly record a profound transformation across geological time. Fact 59. The dorsal fin functions as a stabilizing structure that prevents rolling and enhances balance during swimming, particularly at high speeds or during coordinated group movement. Beyond its hydrodynamic role, the dorsal fin serves as a key identifier, with each individual displaying a unique combination of shape, notches, and scars acquired through life experience. Researchers use these markings to track individuals, social networks, and migration patterns, making each fin a visible record of interaction, history, and individuality. Fact 60. Dolphins are capable of remarkable dives supported by specialized oxygen management, including high concentrations of myoglobin in their muscles and the ability to slow heart rate during submersion. These adaptations allow efficient movement between surface and depth, directing oxygen to vital organs while sustaining underwater activity. In species such as the bottlenose dolphin, this physiology supports hunting, travel, and social interaction across changing light, pressure, and temperature layers, making depth a routine part of daily life rather than a barrier. Fact 61. Dolphins have highly developed pectoral fins used for steering, balance, and fine maneuvering, containing bone structures that closely resemble the human hand, including 5 digits modified for aquatic function. These homologous elements reflect shared ancestry with terrestrial mammals and allow subtle, precise control during turns, social contact, and synchronized swimming. In species such as the bottlenose dolphin, these fins reveal how evolution reshaped form without erasing its origins. Fact 62. Dolphins possess a notably strong and responsive immune system that supports rapid healing from injuries, including deep wounds caused by predators such as sharks. Their resilience is aided by efficient circulation, antimicrobial properties in skin secretions, controlled inflammatory responses, and rapid tissue regeneration. In dynamic ocean environments, these physiological traits enable species such as the short-beaked common dolphin to recover and persist despite frequent environmental challenges. Fact 63. Dolphins lack a functional sense of smell, as the olfactory system diminished over evolutionary time and the nostrils migrated upward to form the blowhole, which serves exclusively for breathing. In place of scent detection, dolphins rely heavily on sound, particularly echolocation, as their primary sensory system. This shift reflects adaptation to an aquatic environment where sound travels efficiently and airborne scent cues are largely irrelevant, allowing hearing to become extraordinarily refined. Fact 64. A dolphin's laterally positioned eyes provide an exceptionally wide field of view, enabling near-panoramic awareness that includes areas behind the body. Their vision is adapted for underwater light conditions, with retinal structures that enhance sensitivity in dim environments, and may allow depth perception through coordinated eye use. In species such as the bottlenose dolphin, vision integrates with echolocation to form a multimodal perception system that supports expansive environmental awareness. Fact 65. Dolphins regulate body temperature through specialized vascular structures in their fins and flukes that function as dynamic heat exchangers. By adjusting blood flow to these extremities, dolphins conserve heat in cold conditions or release excess warmth in warmer waters. This continuous thermoregulation supports survival across diverse climates, allowing species such as the short-beaked common dolphin to thrive in both temperate and tropical regions without conscious effort. Fact 66. The brain of the bottlenose dolphin is large relative to body size and exhibits extensive cortical folding associated with advanced cognitive processing. Neuroanatomical studies identify regions involved in social interaction, communication, emotional processing, and acoustic perception, reflecting intelligence shaped by three-dimensional movement and sound-based environments. These neural systems support complex social networks and learning capabilities developed under evolutionary pressures distinct from those of terrestrial mammals. Fact 67. Dolphins are mammals, warm-blooded, air-breathing, live-bearing animals that nurse their young with milk, and are biologically closer to terrestrial mammals such as cows, horses, and humans than to fish. Their ancestors gradually transitioned from land back into the sea over millions of years, representing one of the most dramatic habitat shifts in mammalian evolution. This return to the ocean was a slow transformation, not a reversal, reshaping bodies while retaining mammalian foundations. Fact 68. The gestation period for most dolphin species lasts approximately 12 months, closely mirroring human pregnancy. During this time, the developing calf grows within the uterus supported by a placental connection, often spanning seasonal changes in the environment. In species such as the bottlenose dolphin, birth timing can align with periods of ecological abundance, increasing survival chances as a fully air-breathing calf enters the ocean after a year of preparation. Fact 69. Dolphins can reach speeds of up to approximately 37 km per hour in short bursts used for escape, hunting, or energetic social interaction, while spending most of their time swimming at moderate, energy-efficient speeds. This balance between power and restraint reflects intelligent energy management, allowing species such as the spinner dolphin to support long-distance travel alongside dynamic social behavior without constant exertion. Fact 70. When a dolphin surfaces, it exhales forcefully through the blowhole, producing a brief mist of condensed water vapor known as a blow. This visible breath forms as warm air from the lungs meets cooler external air, rising momentarily above the surface before dispersing. It is one of the few moments when a dolphin's presence becomes visibly marked above water, a fleeting expression of life in air before returning once more to the sea. Crescent Moon Part 5. The Art of Dolphin Sleep. Fact 71. Dolphins sleep using a process called unihemispheric slow-wave sleep, in which one hemisphere of the brain enters deep, synchronized rest while the other remains awake enough to monitor the environment, regulate movement, and control breathing. This adaptation is essential because full unconsciousness would be dangerous for air-breathing marine mammals. Neurophysiological studies reveal clear alternating patterns of electrical activity between hemispheres, allowing dolphins to balance awareness and restoration, resting in rhythm across continuous cycles while remaining safe in open water. Fact 72. During unihemispheric sleep, one eye typically remains open, the eye corresponding to the active hemisphere, while the other closes, a phenomenon called contralateral eye dominance. Because each hemisphere primarily processes input from the opposite side of the body, the open eye maintains environmental awareness. Observers may see a dolphin floating calmly with one eye closed and the other gently open, appearing half asleep and half attentive. In species such as the bottlenose dolphin, this pattern has been documented in wild and controlled settings, creating a living bridge between consciousness and sleep. Fact 73. The term logging describes dolphins floating near the surface in a horizontal position, remaining almost completely motionless with the blowhole above water to breathe without significant movement. To an observer, a logging dolphin resembles a piece of driftwood, gently suspended and carried by currents. This energy-efficient, socially adaptive behavior often occurs in groups, allowing dolphins to maintain proximity while minimizing effort. Logging typically takes place in calm conditions when the environment feels safe enough for reduced activity. Fact 74. Dolphins alternate hemispheric sleep across rest periods, with one hemisphere resting while the other remains vigilant before switching roles, ensuring both sides receive restorative sleep over time. EEG studies confirm these alternating patterns, demonstrating dolphins' ability to maintain cognitive and physiological balance through distributed rest. In species such as the short-beaked common dolphin, this seamless cycling supports migration, social stability, and ongoing survival in dynamic marine environments. Fact 75. Some dolphin species rest in groups, maintaining close proximity during sleep, which provides protection from predators, reinforces social bonds, and distributes environmental awareness across the pod. Group rest allows individuals to rely on partial vigilance of companions, turning trust into functional survival. In pods of the spinner dolphin, synchronized surface resting is observed, with individuals floating gently in alignment. For dolphins, rest is embedded in community structure, where safety and closeness reinforce one another. Fact 76. Newborn dolphin calves do not immediately exhibit fully developed unihemispheric sleep patterns, remaining highly active while their sleep architecture matures over weeks. Mothers adjust their own rest patterns to remain close, ensuring protection and guiding breathing. Over time, the calf's brain shows clearer hemispheric differentiation during rest, gradually supporting independent survival. In species such as the bottlenose dolphin, sleep develops rhythmically, evolving in parallel with growth and environmental adaptation. Fact 77. During rest, dolphin vocal activity significantly decreases, with signature whistles, burst pulse sounds, and echolocation clicks becoming less frequent or pausing entirely, reflecting alignment with slow-wave brain activity. The acoustic environment softens, movement slows, and energy expenditure diminishes. Observations of wild species such as the short-beaked common dolphin show reduced social calling at night compared to daytime activity, demonstrating how rest creates a quieter, restorative state in the pod. Fact 78. Sperm whales, members of the broader cetacean group that includes dolphins, have been observed resting in distinctive vertical formations near the ocean surface, sometimes called drift dives. Individuals position themselves upright, heads angled downward and tails suspended, remaining motionless for extended intervals while maintaining slow, coordinated breathing. These formations conserve energy and maintain social proximity, revealing that even large marine predators participate in structured, collective rest. The sea itself becomes a shared sleeping space where movement slows and the world adjusts around them. Fact 79. During sleep, dolphin physiology shifts into conservation and restoration mode, with heart rate decreasing, blood flow prioritized to vital organs, muscles relaxing, and metabolic rate adjusting. These changes support cellular repair and energy replenishment. In species such as the bottlenose dolphin, controlled studies show clear physiological differences between active and resting states, demonstrating how rest functions as a vital process for recovery and maintenance. Fact 80. Even during rest, dolphins sometimes produce low-level vocalizations, including soft whistles or brief sounds, though overall acoustic output is greatly reduced. Researchers recording wild populations of species like the short-beaked common dolphin note subtle nighttime vocal patterns, which may help maintain contact within the resting group or reflect residual neural activity during slow-wave sleep. While dolphins do not experience REM sleep as humans do, their brains remain active in species-specific ways, maintaining awareness even during periods of quiet. Fact 81. Dolphins must reconcile two essential requirements: voluntary breathing and sustained rest. Their evolutionary solution, unihemispheric sleep, allows one hemisphere to rest while the other maintains vigilance and respiratory control. This system keeps dolphins safe in open water while allowing neurological recovery. In species such as the spinner dolphin, this balance supports long-distance travel alongside necessary rest cycles, integrating survival and restoration seamlessly. Fact 82. The duration and depth of dolphin sleep vary with environmental conditions. In calm waters with abundant food and low predation risk, dolphins may engage in longer rest periods, whereas storms, predators, or migration pressures shorten intervals. Behavioral studies demonstrate that environmental safety strongly influences sleep patterns, In stable habitats, rest expands. In uncertain conditions, vigilance dominates. This flexibility enables dolphins to adapt their restorative periods without compromising survival. Fact 83. Dolphins do not experience sleep stages identical to human REM cycles. Their sleep architecture consists primarily of slow-wave activity within one hemisphere at a time, resulting in continuous, distributed rest rather than rapid transitions between phases. This pattern creates a gentle, ongoing drift of awareness and recovery. In species such as the bottlenose dolphin, neurological monitoring confirms this steady, rhythmic sleep style. Fact 84. When a dolphin completes a rest cycle, it does not abruptly awaken. Hemispheric alternation ensures that waking is gradual. As one hemisphere becomes more active, neural activity shifts smoothly while the previously awake hemisphere transitions into rest. This controlled process avoids sudden jarring awakenings, maintaining stability and supporting seamless movement between rest, social interaction, and travel. Even return to full activity remains measured and integrated into the rhythm of life. Fact 85. At any given moment, dolphin pods around the world are in varying stages of rest. Some individuals drift near the surface in logging posture, others alternate hemispheres mid-cycle, and groups may rest in loose formations while conserving energy. Beneath a star-filled sky, the ocean surface may appear motionless, yet life continues in quiet equilibrium. Steady breathing, moderated heart rates, and maintains social bonds through proximity and shared rhythm. In species such as the spinner dolphin, coordinated spacing ensures safety while restorative states unfold, revealing a quiet, structured harmony beneath the waves. Milky Way Part 6, Intelligence, Wonder and Connection. Fact 86. Dolphins are among the few non-human species demonstrated to recognize themselves in mirrors. In controlled studies, individuals, particularly in species such as the bottlenose dolphin, were observed interacting with mirrors in ways that suggest self-recognition rather than perceiving the reflection as another animal. They adjusted posture to inspect parts of their bodies visible only in the reflection and used mirrors to examine temporary markings, behavior interpreted as evidence of self-directed awareness. This capacity indicates a level of cognitive complexity associated with self-referential processing. Fact 87. Dolphins have demonstrated the ability to understand abstract categories in experimental settings. Through training paradigms, they can distinguish between concepts such as same and different or novel and familiar and respond appropriately to symbolic cues. They learn that particular gestures or objects represent other actions or instructions, showing symbolic understanding beyond simple stimulus-response behavior, and can generalize rules across new situations, applying learned principles to unfamiliar contexts. Fact 88. Dolphins have demonstrated creative behavior in experimental environments, producing spontaneous, previously unobserved movements when tasks require generating novel actions rather than repeating trained behaviors. This rare ability to innovate on command suggests advanced problem-solving capacity, as dolphins respond to cues indicating "create something new" by performing unique combinations of behaviors, reflecting cognitive flexibility and inventiveness. Fact 89. Evidence suggests that dolphins possess episodic-like memory, the capacity to recall specific events in relation to time and place. Experiments show they can remember object locations and detect changes over time, supporting complex social interactions, migration tracking, and environmental adaptation. In species such as the short-beaked common dolphin, long-term social bonds are likely maintained by this memory, which allows dolphins to track who did what, where, and when, linking past experiences to present decisions. Fact 90. Wild dolphins have occasionally been observed presenting objects to humans, shells, seaweed, or other items, particularly in coastal areas. Researchers interpret these behaviors cautiously, though some instances suggest exploratory or affiliative intent. The dolphin approaches, carries an object, and releases it nearby, reflecting curiosity, play, or social engagement. In species such as the spinner dolphin, exploratory object interaction is common within pods and sometimes extends across species, demonstrating intentional interaction with the environment. Fact 91. Tool use has been documented in certain dolphin populations, most famously when individuals use marine sponges to protect their rostrum while foraging along the seafloor, reducing abrasion from coral or rough substrates. This practice is socially transmitted, passed from mother to daughter across generations in populations where bottlenose dolphins are known to sponge use, representing cultural transmission. The sponge functions as protective equipment, knowledge moves vertically through family lines, and maternal teaching maintains culture in wild populations. Fact 92. In some coastal environments, dolphins have learned to associate fishing boats with potential food sources. Through repeated exposure, they recognize engine sounds or boat activity patterns as indicators of discarded fish or bycatch, adjusting movement and foraging strategies accordingly. This associative learning demonstrates cognitive flexibility, showing attentiveness to environmental change and the ability to link cues with outcomes, reflecting sophisticated problem-solving in dynamic marine habitats. Fact 93. Dolphins experience emotional contagion, the rapid spread of behavioral and physiological states through a group. Excitement or distress in one individual can influence nearby pod members, affecting vocalizations, movement speed, and posture. Observed in highly social species but pronounced in dolphins due to close coordination and proximity, this phenomenon supports hunting efficiency and social cohesion. In species such as the bottlenose dolphin, synchronized behavior reinforces collective awareness and responsiveness. Fact 94. Dolphins have been documented intervening in interactions involving other species. In certain cases, they circle vulnerable animals, including humans, whales, or seals, particularly when sharks are nearby. Researchers interpret these behaviors as protective or exploratory, though exact motivations remain unclear. In coastal ecosystems where species overlap, dolphins sometimes display coordinated movement around distressed animals, potentially deterring predators through presence alone, reflecting both social cohesion and complex cognition, especially in species like the spinner dolphin. Fact 95. The upward curve of many dolphin species' mouths creates the appearance of a permanent smile. This anatomical feature results from jaw shape and connective tissues rather than emotional expression, yet dolphins often appear visually friendly or content to humans. In species such as the bottlenose dolphin, the facial profile contributes to this impression, demonstrating how anatomy influences perception and how human observers may project warmth onto naturally smiling forms, even when the expression is purely biological. Fact 96. Scientific studies indicate that dolphins display behaviors consistent with a wide range of emotional states, including excitement, fear, social bonding, frustration, curiosity, and play. Researchers analyze vocal patterns, body posture, heart rate, and group dynamics to infer emotional correlates, revealing complex affective life integrated with cognition and communication. In species such as the short-beaked common dolphin, rapid shifts in arousal correspond with social and environmental context, highlighting the depth and nuance of dolphin emotions. Fact 97. Long-term behavioral research suggests dolphins exhibit stable individual personality traits. Within bottlenose dolphin populations, consistent differences appear in boldness, sociability, exploration, and responses to novelty. Some approach unfamiliar objects quickly, others cautiously observe. These tendencies remain relatively stable, supporting flexible group dynamics. Diverse personalities contribute unique strengths to the pod, enhancing survival and adaptability, as each dolphin expresses a distinctive behavioral signature shaped by genetics, experience, and environment. Fact 98. The human-dolphin relationship spans thousands of years. Archaeological and historical records suggest ancient coastal communities frequently encountered dolphins, and maritime traditions from multiple cultures describe dolphins accompanying boats, interacting with fishermen, or appearing during voyages. In regions where bottlenose dolphins are common, long-standing proximity to human activity has fostered repeated interactions, reflecting a continuity of observation and connection across time and cultures. Fact 99. Exposure to natural ocean environments is associated with reduced stress indicators in humans. Environmental psychology and neuroscience research shows that time near the sea, through visual exposure, rhythmic wave sounds, and saline air, correlates with decreased cortisol levels and increased parasympathetic activity. Repetitive wave motion may help regulate attention and emotion, and even imagined ocean exposure, such as listening to waves, activates calming neural responses, highlighting the physiological resonance humans share with marine environments. Fact 100. There are hundreds of millions of dolphins estimated to inhabit the world's oceans and major river systems, though precise population numbers are difficult to determine due to species diversity and range. From polar waters to tropical seas, coastal regions to open oceans, dolphins occupy varied ecological niches. Species such as the spinner dolphin and bottlenose dolphin form distinct regional communities, engaging continuously in breathing, traveling, resting, nursing, playing, and communicating. Each individual embodies a complex nervous system, social history, and ongoing biological process. We arrive at the end of our journey, having explored dolphin families, communication, intelligence, play, and rest. We have witnessed how they live, think, and move with connection and awareness. Dolphins are remarkable, social, adaptable, intelligent, and deeply integrated into their environment, reminding us that life in the sea is rich with complexity, cooperation, and continuity. As this episode closes, allow everything to settle. There is no need to remember details. Return attention to your breathing, slow it if comfortable, and let your body find its natural rhythm. The day is complete. The work is done. Nothing else needs to happen right now. Thank you for spending this time with the dolphins, and with me. Good Vibes Sleep will be here whenever you are ready to return. Good night. What a wave.